Hey guys, how's it going? Doing good? Doing good? Good. I have scabies. It is horrible. It truly is. It's worse than it sounds, because when you hear scabies, you think, scabby rabies? But it's worse. Somehow, there's mites who are feasting on my flesh as we speak. I know, you're correct. Think how I feel. When you Google scabies, the first thing that comes up is the CDC website, and the first line on the page is, "Scabies affects people of all classes." Whoa. It's a little defensive. I thought, scabies is just such a terrible word, so I figured, let me look up the scientific name, it'll put me at ease. Turns out the scientific name for scabies is mange. Didn't work. But it makes a very clear point to distinguish that it is a subspecies of the mange that affects animals, so at least I have that. I did find out, though, that the only mites that survive on the human body are the females. So really, I'm just, creating a platform for women's voices. That's what I do. Scabies sounds like it would exclusively affect pirates, which gets me excited. Because I had my first real sexual awakening to Pirates of the Caribbean, which made sense because it was on all the time at middle school sleepovers, which I think it's because it's scary, but it's not too scary, especially if you're not coastal. So pirates are it's a regionally dependent fear. But I was in love with Jack Sparrow. He came on screen. I was like, oh, I have a clitoris. All my friends were in love with Orlando Bloom's character, which made sense. I was like, no thank you. I'll take the one whose beard is braided into 3 separate braids and who's stumbling around like he's the most fucked up guy at Burning Man. Yeah. No, yeah. The one with the womanizing tendencies and the alcohol dependency. I'll take that one. I saw him and I wouldn't say I knew what humping was. But I sure knew I wanted to do it. And that desire, that desire is so deeply embedded within me that I hear that theme music. And I immediately self-lubricate. It is Pavlovian. I can't do anything about it. The problem is the only time that song is played outside of the movie is at middle school orchestra concerts. I don't know why, but somewhere along the line, every middle school orchestra teacher distributes that sheet music, and you can always tell it's coming because it's always the last song, and these kids get these fucking sneaky grins on their faces. This next one's not from the Suzuki book. I see those grins and I know I have a tight 10 seconds to get out of there before I unwittingly achieve full orgasm at a middle school orchestra concert. It's actually a pretty widespread phenomenon. It's actually why there are seatbelts at the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disney World. Otherwise, all the moms would just be sliding right off, For the record, Jack Sparrow certainly had scabies. I told my friend I have scabies, and she said, well, you know, at least you don't have chlamydia. When did that become the metric? And also chlamydia, you know, it sounds better than scabies. You know? Chlamydia kind of sounds like it could be like a misguided hipster baby name. These are the twins. Chlamydia is on the left, and hegemony is on the right. Chlamydia. It sounds like a title that you would be bestowed upon you at British court. I welcome Sir Duke of Chlamydia. Scabies sounds like a court jester who's bad at his job. Who's entertaining us tonight? Oh, we got scabies again. Bad at his job. This week I had a transvaginal ultrasound performed by a woman who was bad at her job. I knew things were off to a rocky start when her opening line to me was taking out the wand, which is pretty significant in size, and saying, "Don't worry. It'll just be the tip." To which I obviously laughed. To which she responded, so I knew it was gonna be downhill from there. She proceeds to take this wand and just sort of start patting around my mons, like, just while making hard eye contact with me is just... How you're feeling now, that went on for too long, is how I felt. After about 30 seconds of that, she looks me dead in the face and she goes, "Well, are you going to help me in?" As if I was the crazy one for not assuming that I was supposed to insert that into myself. Like, imagine if I had made that assumption and been wrong. No, I got it, don't mind. Oh, I wasn't, no, that's my mistake. So sorry about that. That's my mistake. That's my mistake. And then we're 20 minutes in now, and she's in there, and she looks at my chart, and I guess she realizes that my name is Sophie for the first time, because she looks at me and she just goes, "Sophie. I have a sister named Sophie." Sophie, Sophie, Sophie. My parents are here tonight. Yeah. My parents are very cool. They were not, however, like the cool parents in high school who let you like throw bangers in their basement. I feel like every high school has a set of those parents that for like whatever reason just lets all the neighborhood kids just like drink and get drunk in their basement. They're like, you know, we'd prefer you didn't do it, but if you're gonna do it, we'd rather you do it in the house. Which is funny because that's kind of like Bowdoin's alcohol policy. We'd prefer you didn't do it, but we know you're going to, so we'd prefer you do it under our own roof. And it's also their policy with sexual assault. There's been a large rise in interest in male allyship since the Me Too movement, which is great because, you know, men just didn't know. You guys, they didn't know. until October 2017, they had no idea. Just think about how hard that must be for them. Guys on campus have asked me, how can I be a better male ally to women on campus? And I don't have the answers, but I do have some suggestions. One thing is, I think allyship should be approached the same way the vocabulary section on the SAT is approached. Use your context clues. For instance, just a for instance, if one of your good pals is commonly referred to by every woman on this campus as Rapey Peter, you're probably doing something wrong. And I get it. It can be difficult, but generally I think the metric should be, if you wouldn't let your little sister go home with somebody, you shouldn't be friends with them. And I get it, some of you don't have little sisters, so just close your eyes and imagine that you did think that women who weren't related to you were also people. And that should get you there. Context clues. On the day that the women came forward to accuse Louis C.K., it was the same day of the premiere of his film that he wrote and directed, entitled, I Love You, Daddy. There are context clues. Use them. Thank you guys, I'm Sophie.